So hi, everybody. My name is Katarina Hanssens Carlsson, and I have with me today Jerry Paul, who has a son with an amazing story. First of all, I just want to say I'm the creator of the Entrepreneurial Blueprint. And what Jerry and I are going to talk about today is, what is your legacy? So you could be in your 50s, you could be more, you could be less. What's the legacy you're going to leave behind? So Jerry, would you please introduce yourself and perhaps say a little bit about Thomas?
Well, thank you very much, Katarina, for having me here. Um, my name's Jerry Hall, and I'm from London, Ontario, Canada, and I'm the founder and the director of the New Millennial Success Academy. And I put this academy together 3 years ago at the beginning of COVID because my oldest son, who's profoundly deaf and autistic, he accomplished a goal that nobody, and I mean nobody, thought possible, including myself and my wife. And when he did that, I was so impressed with it that I studied the whole success process. And I realized there was things that my son accomplished and did during this whole process of achieving an incredible goal that I felt people needed to learn. People, average, ordinary people like myself, who sometimes maybe believe that we aren't intended to do something spectacular or special in our lives. When my son was able to go out and do what he did, I was able to take these concepts and principles and strategies that he took, and I started this Success Academy so that I could go out there, share his story, and help other people make their goals and dreams come true.
Brilliant. Absolutely. So Jerry, I want to ask you, I mean, we just had a little conversation about teachers in Canada. They're very well paid.
Yeah.
And that they can retire, and that what do you think about retirement, and what do you think about leaving a legacy?
That's a great question. And I think a lot of us, when we're in those working years of our lives, maybe in our 30s and 40s and early 50s, a lot of people just can't wait to retire. But a funny thing I found, what happens to us is that when we get close to the retirement age, we start thinking about, well, what am I going to do with my time now? Like, what am I going to be known for? Am I just going to sit around, play golf, or do whatever? I think you can do that for a little bit. But I truly believe we as human beings, we grow when we're always progressing towards something more significant in our lives. When we hit a goal, it's wonderful to hit a goal and relish in what we accomplished. But if we just sit back on our laurels, I think for the most people, we would get bored. And this is one of the things we're talking about. School teachers in Canada, they can retire at the age of 55. And if they do retire, I think they want to enjoy a little time to themselves. But I think it gives them an incredible opportunity, to be able to take that knowledge and experience they had over the years, that 30 plus years of teaching, and that actually becomes wisdom that they can now take that information and share it. And I think that's what a lot of people are looking for in their lives, just to sort of like matter, go from a life of success to a position of significance now, where they can take all this information that they learned over the years and now give it back in some forum, some way. I don't know how. There's so many different ways of doing it. I know you're doing it in a wonderful way, and I'm doing it in a way that works for me. But I think there's so many different ways we can take this, and we can become effective, impactful people in our communities, that we've taken everything that we've learned over the course of our lives, and now we can make a significant difference in other people's lives.
Absolutely. And what I've understood, Jerry, is that when we serve, we're fulfilled.
Absolutely.
And when we're fulfilled, we're alive. But
Yes.
we also talked a little bit about Tony Robbins when he said, when you progress, you live.
Yeah.
Without progress, we die. We actually die. So imagine teaching for the whole of your life, well, up to 55.
Yeah.
Then just receding from life. It just doesn't make sense, because these teachers could be teaching in Africa, in India, in all kinds of countries, and giving of their wisdom. So not just teachers, everyone.
Yeah. Well, and the really unique thing about it, yeah, with the teachers and stuff, I went to school with a lot of them and grew up with a lot of people who became teachers, just wonderful people because they had a heart of gold to begin with, that they really wanted to work with kids and they wanted to sort of like contribute in a really significant way. But I think in today's world, especially we learned it during COVID, is that I'm doing this from Canada, you're doing what you're doing from Sweden right now. And it's like we're in the same room. So the wonderful thing that we learned during COVID is that using tools like Zoom and Google Meets and that we don't have to actually be in the physical location of the people we want to impact. So yeah, the ability for us to make the world so much smaller now and us to be able to communicate and help one another is absolutely phenomenal. So I think if you're in a retirement stage of your life, or you're in a position where you can actually take your time and give it back, I don't think there's ever been a better time in the history of mankind that we can reach out and communicate and connect with one another, and instead of being part of the problem, be part of the solution.
Absolutely. And we have AI to help us too.
Yes.
So, so I'd like to tell the viewers, thank you for watching. On November the 6th, Monday, November the 6th at 10 a.m. EST, we're going to do a very short webinar, and I'm going to introduce the 6 steps of finding your legacy, finding your brilliance. We're also going to talk about the new Millennium Success Academy that Jerry has, and Jerry has a surprise for you as well.
Yeah, yes, well, I'm gonna share my story because this is my keynote, and it's entitled "Win When Nobody Else Thinks You Can," and it's a story of my son who accomplished an incredible goal, and it's always met with an incredible amount of enthusiasm and passion when I share the story. So I like to tell my son's story, exactly what it is, what he did, but not just inspire people, but I like to share the exact steps that he took to become successful and the conclusions that I was able to draw from his experience, and especially when I compared it to my own, course of success of my life and my mentors and the people who helped me along the way. And I lay out the steps he took, but how, most importantly, how people can implement them in their own lives. And so I always love the opportunity to share this story. But I also say that if anybody who's a part of this webinar, not only will I'm going to share this, but I also wrote a short story ebook on this that's sold and read worldwide. And anybody who wants to be part of this webinar, I will be more than happy to give them a complimentary copy of that story as well.
Thank you so much, Jerry. That's really generous of you. And the story is so moving. I was moved to tears. This is an incredible story about courage and determination. When nobody around, not even his parents, nobody around Thomas believed he could do what he set his mind to do, and he did it. He did it.
Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic. So November the 6th, 10 a.m. EST, we're going to be posting about this webinar, and you're very, very welcome to come. Thank you for listening today, and thank you so much, Jerry Hall.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I hope to see many out on November 6th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Canada.
Thank you.
Have a great day.